Is your local election headquarters, and welcome back again. Preparing for a historic number of people likely to decide to vote by mail, particularly with the pandemic happening right now. And that means there's going to be a lot of adjusting for local election commissions and for voters. Joining us now is Tazewell County Clerk John Ackerman. Thank you very much. I'll start off and say this. We actually got an email from someone today who said that they recently moved to Tennessee, out of state, and still received a vote by mail application. I want to ask you, how are you all going through and making sure every address is correct, and to mitigate having to do as much correcting on the front end rather than on the back end after these applications are sent out?
Well, obviously, no election official has an address for Tennessee in their election database. So if I had to guess, and you just asked me to guess, it's not my item, so I don't know particularly on that, but I would guess what happened is that even though it wasn't supposed to, that application got forwarded to their new address in Tennessee, which would have nothing to do with how it was registered in the database for the election official. It would have to do with, of course, a mistake in the mail being forwarded. On the bright side, again, these are just applications in Illinois that have been mass mailed out. The voter still has to sign, verify they are who they are, mail them back before we print off a ballot and mail them a ballot, of which they'd have to sign and provide proof again of who they are.
And John, if I'm not correct, people have all the way up until actual election day to send their ballots if they do vote by mail, as long as it's post-dated by that particular day on election day. How many people so far have signed up to do vote by mail in your county?
Yeah, well, and first, just clarification, making sure the applications that they have right now that were mailed out, those have to be returned to our office before 5 days before the election, and that's the cutoff date for those. But then you're right, ballots, once they get ballots, they have until election day to make sure that they're in the mail. As long as they're postmarked election day, they will be counted. Here in Tazewell County, we already have over 6,000 vote by mail applications that have been processed, with the vast majority of those coming in just in the last 2 days.
And as we close out here, for people as they're trying to contemplate whether or not they're going to do vote by mail or, the traditional way, what would you suggest for people as they're making that decision who have never done this before?
Well, yeah, first off, remember the vote by mail is just one option. There's going to be in-person voting at all of the polling locations. They'll all be open. You have early voting options that'll be coming out here next month. Once we start actually beginning voting, you'll have early voting options where you can come to the office and vote in person. The other option, of course, is vote by mail. For those that are new with it, just remember, yes, you can wait until election day to get that postmarked, but if you have your mind made up, vote as early as you can and get it sent in, because of the sheer volume of requests that we have and the sheer number of ballots that we'll be dealing. The longer we have to process and get everything moving makes for a smoother election day for all of us.